alaikum, and continuing with the videos to support the same series, and I'm calling the series Saving One, or Man أحياها, and this is following the ayah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that gives us this reward, which is whoever saves one life as if he have saved the entire humanity. And this has been revealed to the sons of Israel, and we come from the same principles. However, it's different practices, and I'm not going to get into so much of the similarities and differences. However, as Muslims, we believe that all religions started as Islam. However, it was changed, and the practice of the people changed over time. I'm not going to get too much into that. This is a difficult topic, and in this video I'll be focusing on what to buy. What do you need to buy for the purpose of self-defense and protecting yourself and your family, and maybe your community. So first, before doing this, I'll talk a little bit about the rules. So who has the right to buy firearms? Number one, citizens and permanent residents. So if you are a green card holder or you are a citizen of the United States, by law you are entitled to buy firearms and own firearms, unless you have violated something. And there are other conditions that we can talk about, which is being convicted of a felony, having been admitted to a mental institution for mental health issues. Then you should not buy firearm in this case, or in this case also you should not provide access to someone with this kind of condition. You should not provide him access to firearm. So I'm not sure about student visa or tourist visa. In this case, from my knowledge, I know they are not allowed to own or carry also firearms. However, I have read some exceptions about that if you are staying more than 6 months within the state, then you would be allowed to buy. However, if you are a student, have a student visa, under student visa, or a tourist visa, or you are seeking asylum, seek guidance. I don't know. What I know for sure, if you are a citizenship or a green card holder, permanent resident, you are allowed to carry or own firearms and having access to it. The second thing is where can you buy? You can buy firearms in so many places, similar to like multiple department stores, similar to Dick's, Academy Sports and Outdoors. There are Bass Pro Shop, there is the local gun stores, and also in gun shows. However, if you are just getting into buying guns, I advise you not to go to gun shows and local gun stores. Why? The multi-department stores, they know the regulations. They will advise you about if you are allowed to buy firearms. They will check your background. Sometimes the background check is not applied in the gun shows. You might have someone approaching you in a parking lot or something, offering you to buy a firearm. My advice, do not do this. Why? You are just starting, you don't know about the laws and regulations, even though it might be legal to do so. However, and might be cheaper also, but that's not the case here. If you are just new to it, you are unsure about your condition, go to a place similar to Dick's for shotguns, Academy Sports and Outdoors for pistols, Bass Pro Shop for both, and also Academy Sports, you can buy shotguns and rifles from there, and we'll talk about what are those and what you should buy. However, stay away from local gun stores for now until you are more familiar, and then you can approach those. So once you have that, and we'll talk about what to buy, but my advice is to you is to have some kind of gun class. Gun classes, those are the first step for proceeding with an application for a concealed carry or a handgun carry permit. And if you have been charged with any crime or admitted to a mental health institution or have some kind of mental disability, or I'm not a doctor or psychiatrist in this situation. However, check the laws and regulations, and do go to a multi-department store for your first gun. So types of firearms. What types of firearms? In general, I think of those as the purpose, the bullet, and the bullet and the bullet caliber, of course, and then the firearm that would shoot this bullet. But let's start with the purpose. So for the purpose of self-defense, and if you are looking for something like for a personal carry, then the bullet would be a 9mm, or if we are talking the inches or the calibers, a good caliber or the inch caliber would be the 38 caliber. For home protection, you can use the same, which is the pistol, for self-defense. However, it is recommended to have a shotgun, and that comes in the 12 gauge and the 20 gauge. There are other gauges. However, what my recommendation would be the 12 gauge shotgun for home protection. And of course, for self-defense, you would be carrying this loaded, and when you have it at home, you have it loaded out of reach of children. So it's for safety, it's out of reach of children. However, it's within your reach that you can grab it in case of an emergency, or you need it to defend yourself, and use it and be ready to be used for self-defense. For store protection, then it should be loaded and within your reach, on you or within your reach, that you can grab it in emergency situation and be ready to use it as well. Okay, so we talked about the bullets. I'm not going to get into too much details, but the bullets we talked about. For the pistols, I recommend 9mm or a 38 caliber. And that's a common size. It's a good size, gives you enough power for self-defense. It's not very small, similar to the 22 long rifle, and it's not very large caliber like the 40 and 45 that you need to be aware of the kickback. So to keep it simple, 9mm or 38 special in case of a pistol or a revolver, and a 12 gauge in case of a shotgun. So what kind of firearm, or what are the types of firearms, let's say, that are available? So the first thing is the handgun, and a handgun is made to be short barrel, and it's for close encounter. It's up to about 10 meters. Of course, it would shoot and it would cause harm and kill someone if he was hit with the bullet further than 10 yards. However, 10 yards is the setup range for the typical situation for the use of firearm. And usually for practice, you would practice at the 3 and the 4 yard distance for a firearm to be shot, and most likely those are the distances if you go to a hand carry class and self-defense class using firearms. They would teach you and train you on the use of firearm within about 3 yards distance, and do practice for this distance. And in next videos, we'll be talking about some self-defense mechanism and how to use the firearms for self-defense, specifically for self-defense. So we talked about handguns. Handguns do come with some rifling inside the barrel, and not too much into details, but it's a short, small firearm. It's a gun that can shoot a bullet. And this bullet, because of the rifling within, it would be rotating when it comes out and of the barrel, and that would increase or enhance its aerodynamics for going a larger or longer distance. However, the handguns are made to shoot for the 10 yard range, and your training would be about the 3 to 4 yard range. Shotgun, and my recommendation, I'm going to talk specifically about the 12 gauge. It's a long barrel, and it would fit under, it's not a rifle, but it would fit under the long barrel type of firearms. And 12 gauge is what I recommend. And shotguns, they shoot a bullet that's basically billets of steel or lead mixed with the powder, the gunpowder, and when fired, those pellets, small pellets, they come out of the a smooth barrel that doesn't have the rifling, and therefore when it comes out, it comes choked because of the size of the barrel, and when it comes out, it starts to spread of a shotgun pattern, and that's where you hear it's a peppered or shotgun pattern. It's multiple small bullets hitting an area, and the more distance you go away from the shotgun, the less impact or efficiency that it has, and 50 yard range is the range. Beyond this, it would do some damage. However, its effective range is up to 50 yards. Therefore, for the house, you use the 12 gauge and do not use slugs. And again, so if you decide to buy a shotgun, you get the 12 gauge, that's my advice, and do not use slugs for the house or as your first type of ammunition that you get to use. Why? Slugs are basically a heavy, about 1 ounce load of a bullet that's encased into the shotgun shell. When fired, it goes out with, it's like a cannon. It goes out and it can go through your drywall, and it can go into neighbors, and you don't want that. You want something that's contained in case it's shot or used within your house. It can be contained within your house only, and it does not extend to beyond that, because you are responsible for the bullet from the time it comes out of your rifle or firearm until it stops. Whatever happens in between, you are fully responsible for it. And whatever you use your gun for, think of standing in front of a jury and having to explain yourself. Why did you use your firearm? Why did you show it? Did you shoot someone? Why did you kill? Was it for self-defense? And all of that. In a gun carry class, you'll be introduced on those scenarios and how on the safe way to use it. I will be going over a few items on how to. The rifle, I'm not going to get too much into rifles, but rifles, it's a long barrel, it shoots a bullet, it's intended for the long range. It comes from so many sizes, 22 up to, 22 is the most common for long rifle, 223 and the 250 for the next step, and then you go into the 308, 330, 3030, 300, and so on, and it goes bigger than this, like the 7 milli and 605 Creedmoors and so on, but we're not going to get into too much detail. And those bullets, like the rifles, they are made for hunting and for long range, and it can shoot up to whatever, like 2 miles and 3